The AM5 will not do a Meridian flip by itself. It needs to send go to command if you want the mount to do a Meridian flip after a Meridian 8 hours ago. Well, that was posted before Quiv the Lazy Geek posted his video about ZWO not paying attention to us ASCOM Nina users. Let's see what happens now that 40,000 strong are going to be coming after you, ZWO. I'm Chad, this is the Easy Astro Images channel, and we are going to make the AM5 better today since ZWO decided not to. Now, Quiv the Lazy Geek, of course, everybody knows this guy. You gotta love him. He's been testing and running the AM5 for quite a while. Ironically, like me, except for the other night, he had never actually did a Meridian flip. I did a Meridian flip the other night and it failed. And I basically did the same thing as him. I looked at the logs and I saw what was happening. In a nutshell, the AM5 mount is turning off tracking literally after it hits the Meridian. And Nina is saying, hey, I'm ready for you to do a flip. After, like 5 minutes after, it has went past the Meridian and the AM5 is already turned off its tracking, so then it won't do anything. So what Quiv has done is he's found online that by default, with the current firmware and all that stuff, it'll actually run up to like a degree, which is like around 4 minutes, supposedly. So he made some really tight settings inside Nina. Now, I have actually been researching this for a couple days on the ZWO user forum group. And if you want to try out my methodology, which works just fine right now, you're going to want to go and create an account. Go to ZWO user forum, click on ASI mount, and you will see the list of topic discussions. Now, this has been going on for a while now, and they've actually created a couple different versions of the firmware. Don't use this latest one, 1.24 beta. It seems to have a lot of bugs built into it, which are really, really weird. I'm using the 1.2.3 beta down here, which you click down there and there's downloads like up here on the page. You actually want to grab the one that is here in the middle on this dude's from ZWO Google Drive link. You don't want to download the ones at the top of the page because there was actually a bug in that as well, and I don't know why they never just re-released it with a different name, but that is what they did. So yeah, go to right here, this one, and that will get you the current versions. And what I was able to do is this firmware I'll show you here actually allows you to change the behavior of the AM5 to continue tracking for up to 15 degrees after the Meridian. So that way you can extend your Meridian time before the flip. And I tested it today. It was 4 for 4. I was able to get a max time of 8 minutes and 4 minutes or 5 minutes after Meridian, and verified it with all the logs, 4 for 4, north and south, did all of that good testing and validation. So I know this works, and I know that there's way less bugs in this than there is in the 1.2.4. In the 1.2.4 beta, there's bugs for people that are using the ASIair and everything. So don't be upgrading your ASIair stuff anytime soon if you have an AM5, because their problems coming for you. And these guys don't look like they got the best track record when it comes to validating this stuff. But hopefully that will change now that 40,000 subscribers have actually seen what is going on. So let's get to what I did today and show you the actual flipping and all that stuff. That way you can kind of make a decision for yourself if you want to give it a try or if you would like to leave everything the same that Queeve did. So you grab that link. It'll be a new ASCOM driver and an updated firmware for the AM5. You download that ASCOM driver. There's a little link there to click, and then that'll allow you to update the firmware on your AM5 mount, and then you will be gravy, and we'll show you what that looks like here. All right, so we are in my PC now here, and what I'm going to do is just pull everything up from earlier today when I was running my tests. So you can see that we're logged into Nina here, and we're just basically shooting up into the sky. There is my all sky cam running on the front of my scope, showing that it is flipped in a certain direction. And if we look up here into the corner, we'll see that when we turn the ASI mount server on and click on advanced, you see the firmware version there is different. And when you click on advanced, you'll see here now there is this little tab that comes up that allows you to say Meridian behavior, tracking continue, and to 15 degrees. So that is what I did. And after I updated the firmware, you're able to actually do that and make that happen. I tested this 2 different points on the north, 2 different points on the south, and it does take its sweet old time. I think I could see in the logs that Nina keeps saying, "Hey, are you ready to do a flip?" And Nina is coming back and saying, "There's still time left over to do a flip. Let's just keep on imaging." And then it'll eventually get to the point of the max, which will allow you to actually then go ahead and it'll do the flip for you. And I tested this in the simple sequencer and the advanced sequencer, so this works very well. So we're counting down here to our first flip, and all I'm doing is just making sure that it does the flip, tracking and all that is still on. And here we go. And I think this was my first setup where I was testing, I think like 2 minutes after the Meridian and then a 4-minute max. I wanted to see how far I could actually take the max out. And I was able to take the max out to about 8 minutes. For some reason, 8 minutes and 10 minutes or 15 degrees, their numbers are all kind of off. So 10 minutes max didn't work, but 8 minutes did. And then, of course, we can check here with the all sky camera to confirm that we did get a successful flip, as well as everything in the software. Right up here in the corner is where you can actually make those adjustments. And some people are even using the one below it, which is kind of a pause. They're pausing for 10 or 15 minutes, and then they're doing the flip after that, which is okay, but you're losing precious imaging time at the apex where the sky is the darkest. So the rest of this here is just more testing and validation, seeing how far I could push it. 2 minutes to 5-minute max, to 6-minute max, 10-minute max, which failed, 8-minute max, which did not. So again, this all works really good with this beta because it allows you to change that. Now, the beta also has a form where you can select -15, and I really didn't know what -15 is. I thought that would maybe be on the other side of the Meridian, but really it just means that you want it to stop tracking 15 degrees before the Meridian up to whatever. So if you want to try to work that kind of magic or whatever, you can. But like as I said, and I know Quiva stated before as well, we want to image past the Meridian. I mean, heck, we really don't want to do a Meridian flip if we don't even have to. And quite honestly, with the AM5, we could ride that out for a long time because we don't have counterweights and stuff. Not the best practice, I know, but in theory, it is possible if you were imaging down something to a reasonable altitude. But they do not let you to go that far with the actual tracking. It will automatically turn the tracking off right now. Maybe they changed that in the 1.2.4 beta. I don't know. I'm not doing any more updating unless I have to and they come out with a fix. I'll keep an eye on those forums. I'll let you guys know what's going on. I got an entire AM5 playlist I'll put a link to up here and in the description if you want to see all the stuff I've been doing, like guide settings and all that stuff, because I'm hell-bent and bound and determined to get this thing working perfectly. Is this AM5 a great purchase? I am not sure yet. I just love that it's so easy to move around, but wheeling out my EQ6R was almost as easy. The guiding is just as good now that it's on the AVX tripod. So don't buy the tripod. Maybe get a peer extension if you needed to, which actually that wouldn't work either. So you would have to find a peer extension. So forget I said that. Don't buy either one of those if you don't have to. If you got an AVX, or if you want to find another mount that will work that's more sturdier, save the $300-400 and go that route for sure. Maybe my mind will change on that one of these days, but for now, the carbon fiber tripod is just kind of sitting there. In fact, I might email Agena and see if I can actually send it back to him, because I just really don't plan on using it, and I'm not going to be lugging this thing out into the field or whatever. It's still easy enough to carry. It's so much lighter than not before, you know, with the big heavy mount on top. But really, weight savings is the only thing, that advantage that I see right now. The software is like juvenile, and the way the whole thing operates is kind of juvenile as well. You know, there's not a lot of documentation and stuff. People are kind of like throwing their hands up in the air and figuring things out for themselves. Thank goodness. And thank goodness for Mr. Chen that's on those forums that has like taught us how to like actually guide and calibrate it properly and all that stuff. I did a video on that in the playlist as well. So, you know, it's been a learning curve, that's for sure. Hopefully it just keeps on spitting out images, because that's all we want. We want things easy, not difficult. Don't need to be troubleshooting this stuff constantly. This hobby is hard enough. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I appreciate every one of you guys, and peace.